Saxon Math, lesson 65. We've been working on ratios with totals. This is the exact same problem you just watched me solve in the last video. I wanted to show you a different way to solve it using the same ratio box. Let's look at the problem again for a moment. The ratio of boys to girls is 5 to 4. That means for every 5 boys, there are 4 girls. If there are 180 students, so that would be boys and girls together, how many are girls? Remember we learned in our last video to draw a ratio box to help us solve this problem. In our ratio box we have 2 columns, the ratio and the actual. We have the number of boys in ratio to the number of girls. The ratio of boys to girls is 5 boys to 4 girls. The new material that we learned is the total column. They give us the total number of students who are actually there. So if I go to my actual column and go down to the total, there are 180 students. Now there's one more thing I need to do before I solve my problem. I can find the ratio total by simply adding the number of boys plus the number of girls. This is fairly easy. Take this number, 5 plus 4 makes 9. Now when we did this last time, we talked about taking our actual total, dividing by our ratio total, and then multiplying times the number of girls to find the number of girls, or multiplying times the number of boys to find the number of boys. Today I want to show you something a little different. We're going to look just at this part. We're looking at the ratio of girls as compared to the total, and we want to find the actual number of girls, which we don't know, so I'll put an X there, compared to the total. I can think of this as 2 ratios. In fact, if you look at it, it looks sort of like a fraction here, and sort of like a fraction there. Or it looks exactly like a ratio here, and like a ratio there. If I was to rewrite it, I could write it as 4 to 9, which in this case is the number of girls compared to the total, is equivalent to the actual number of girls compared to the total. We don't know the actual number of girls, that's what we're trying to find, but we do know the total. If I look at these two, and I rewrite it over here, it looks exactly the same, all I did is put an equal sign in the middle, I'm able to use what I know about ratios and proportions to be able to solve this problem. Do you remember how? We cross multiply. I know that 4 times 80 is going to give me the same total as if I multiply 9 times whatever x is. Well, 4 times 180 equals 720. That means that 9 times whatever the actual total is also going to equal 720. 9 times something makes 720. 9 times what is 720? Well, I could use my times tables. I could estimate, that might help me. Or some people like to divide. They say if 9 times something is 720, then 720 divided by 9 will give me my x. 720 divided by 9 is 80, which means that x is 80. And when I go back to my problem here, my number of girls is 80. So this is a different way to solve the same problem, still using the ratio box, but using what you learned before about comparing 2 ratio numbers.